Hello, hello. Welcome to episode 82 of the Lorethrough. Today we are doing the Windmill Village, so let's get to it. So first off, construction. The buildings look modest, kind of like the shack that we saw, the Boil Prawn Shack in Liurnia. It's kind of what they remind me of. Or maybe the houses around Jarburg. Very simple. Who knows when they could have been built. But here at the base of the hill we find a ghost. Let's see what they have to say. Eek. I hear a festive melody. No, no, don't skin me. My hide is filthy, I swear. Well, given that they have weapons, these dancing ladies have weapons made of bone, and they are apparently harvesting skin, and people are afraid of that, something is going on here. Nothing is ever quite as it seems, and of course the people who are celebrating, dancing, and laughing to themselves are doing something very evil and disturbing, because this is a FromSoft game. Nothing is ever right with the world. That's boring. It's got to be dark and sinister, and we like it that way. So over on that side we found the Celebrant Skull, which is the one that you can't farm. You can farm the sickle, cleaver, and rib rake off of those ladies, but it is miserable to do so. The drop chance is very low. And this one is guaranteed, as it is an item in the map. Large bludgeon decorated with flowers of many-colored fabrics. Ceremonial tool used by dancers during festivities of Dominula, Windmill Village. The striking end is a skull too large in size to be human. Grants trace amounts of runes on landing attacks. So don't know who it's from. Could be a troll scroll, I suppose, but it would seem a little small even for a troll. I guess we could take a look at it. Yeah, it seems just a tad small to be for a troll. Just a bit. Maybe the shape's wrong too. Let's go back to this. So as we work our way up here, and the ladies are tattered in blood, and they have implements made of bone. It stands to reason that perhaps they're the ones skinning people and using their bones, human bones, for their tools. They have flowers about. They seem like a jovial bunch. Very spooky still, nonetheless. And they are not violent to us, incidentally. They seem distracted. Now, not all of them are that way. I believe these ones in the back will be violent if we get too close. But we're here to loot their stables, where there is a dead commoner and some money. But they don't attack us as long as we don't attack them first. At least this group. But here we can find golden runes, some money, a rune arc. Very odd indeed. And flowers. So it seems, according to their cloak, and you know what? I'm going to put on their cloak for a second just to show it off. So see, it has... It looks like the symbol of the Erd Tree. It almost kind of looks like one of the incantation seals, honestly. Especially on this one. This one could be something else. And it seems that this is something more special to them. I'm not sure what that symbol is. Keep an eye open. Maybe something will trigger it, our thought process. But this definitely looks like the Erd Tree. And many are wearing it. Let's see, item type. Let's find my darn chess piece wherever I put it. Okay. So... It seems that the dancing hags here in the Altus Plateau, they seem to be practicing a sort of pagan Baltic religion, right? Though they are wearing the monolithic or monotheistic symbol of the Erd Tree on their cloaks, they seem to have, I would say, reverted their beliefs. So as soon as a dog gets pissed, the rest of them get mad. Understandable. If your dog hates somebody, they're probably right. Well... I should probably put a big if on that one, because some dogs, especially some breeds of dogs, are not nearly as reasonable as they could be. Oh, horrible blood attack there. Yeah. So she bites her arm and can spew it. I was really hoping to put her to sleep, but I guess not. Alright, that's fine. So, once the dog got mad, it seemed to break them from their stupor, and they attacked us. Partway up the hill, too. You get a good ways up this hill before they get mad. I think I need to go a little higher to loot that one. These ladies don't seem to get mad. So we're going to loot this. I don't even remember what it is, but I want the shiny Exalted Flesh. Okay. So there's a handful of things I want to show off here, and I hope I can do it right. Oh, I hope I can do it right. Okay. Do these ladies get mad? They do. They're praying. Okay, so over here, we have Millicent we can summon, and we will summon her in a moment. The reason I'm doing it this way is because we put these ladies to sleep, and we have a Godskin Apostle, who we know is very weak to sleepy time. Ow. I'm taking all sorts of hits trying not to wake up this lady. But she can, the Godskin can roar and wake up their sleeping fellow. It's a unique interaction that you don't see very often. But it's something they can do. Which is weird because they're something that's very weak to sleep. Alright. Now that we've done that, now we can summon Millicent. And I want to see if I can summon my rat buddies and see how many I get. As I said I would do that. Oh no, they're up there. There they are. At least they're coming down the hill. Well, the rats don't do so well. But Millicent does have her weapon of choice. Oh, goody. Ooh. And she can do a move called Waterfowl Dance, which we can't get as an Ash of War to stick on a Shamshear, but Millicent gets it. Trying to put him to sleep. Well, the sword didn't put him to sleep, but he's dead now, and Millicent barely survived, which is good. She disappears. And we get a Grace up here at the top of the hill, and we also get the Godskin Peeler and the Scouring Black Flame. So we can take a look at that. Unique twin blade wielded by Godskin Apostles, characterized by its disturbing design. One end features a sickle for slicing attacks, while the other boasts a winding spike for boring into flesh. Much skill is required to wield this weapon due to its asymmetric nature. And then we also got an incantation. So let's take a look at that. A black flame incantation of the Godskin Apostles sweeps a wide area before the caster with black flame. Charging enhances range. The black flame could once slay gods, but when Malekith sealed destined death, the true power of black flame was lost. Very interesting. So we've seen characters use a red sort of flame, like a red-black flame. Most notably is the Gargoyle in Northern Dragonbarrow, and even the little vulgar militiamen use it, I believe, from time to time. And it does damage over time, kind of like the Black Flame does. So, kind of an interesting little thing there. What's the difference between that Black Flame and the White Flame that we see used by the Godskin Apostles? Now, I'm curious. I want to know if it's on an item description that I'm thinking of. Gargoyle's Black Blade. Here he is. Bronze greatsword wielded by valiant gargoyles, mended with blackened corpse wax. Such is the mark of those who serve Malekith the Black Blade. So Malekith, the Black Blade, that red flame is associated with them. Not the flame that we saw like the giant Stone Digger troll cast, but the red flame that comes on their weapons, that came on the vulgar militia weapons. The one that would hit you and it would lower your max health and burn you over time. The black flame just burns over time. It doesn't lower your max health for a time. So that seems to be the chief difference. So there's some weird connection between the Valiant Gargoyles, the Vulgar Militia men, Malekith, and their rivalry with the Godskins. On another note, I talked about how it seemed that the ladies of the village had once had a religion. It seemed that they once believed in the Erd Tree, and they reverted their faith to a more pagan-like style of belief. And it seems that given these ladies praying at the bottom of the hill, they were praying to the Godskin Apostle and whatever faith he brought them. And given that he has a peeler, and they're trying to make their own little peelers, it seems they were trying to emulate him in some capacity. I think we got 3 giant rats and another aside from that, so we'll need to buff it and see how many we get, because I'm genuinely curious since it's free. And now Millicent is here, and we can see she is wearing her prosthesis that we got her. And she was able to fight with it. She was able to do that fancy waterfowl dance. I don't know if she was able to do that before. I probably shouldn't know it's called waterfowl dance, but I'm going to refer to it as that. It's the one where she leaps up in the air and slashes a whole bunch, and there's all these white streaks all over the place. So, okay.
Ah, we meet yet again. The arm you gave me truly is a thing of wonder. It feels just like my own. Even handling a sword. Perhaps it is foolish to say this to you of all people, but I am sure of my skill with the sword. Thus, I would have you call upon me in battle again, should you ever have the need.
So, Millicent is another character who becomes enamored with the player to a degree. Very thankful and very willing to help out. Blythe is also another such character I feel like grows a moderate platonic affection for the player. So,
I would have you call upon me in battle. It is the only...
Okay. I think that's all we have. I don't think there's anything on the edge over there until later. So I will put a stamp there for a treasure that we can get at a later point in time, so I do not forget. Okay. Great. Is there anything else to think about or to talk about? Nothing is coming to mind. I think we can move on. An interesting little village. Kind of a snapshot into the old religions of the world. Whatever faith the Godskins brought these people. It reminds me of the serpent god's curved greatsword, or not curved greatsword, it's just a normal curved sword. Curved sword fashioned from the image of an ancient serpent deity and tool of a forgotten religion practiced on Mount Gilmere, formerly used to offer up sacrifices. The sword restores HP upon slaying an enemy, so that's another one of those ancient religions. The dragons might have had their own religion as well, because they existed before the Erd Tree. And, well, Rhea Lucarians kind of have their own little churches, so who knows what they might have believed in. The giants probably believed something that pissed off the Erd Tree and caused that war, and they seem to have been around for a while as well. So lots of groups have their own little religions, and they seem to be cropping up, and we are starting to see more and more of them. Okay, so now I believe we are good to get into the basin. Okay, let's get back to it. So we're going down the hill. We see another windmill. I've placed a marker to help me know where to go and not waste too much of my time. Or your time, I hope. So coming down here. Oh, a neat little thing to note. Hope I can see it. So this lady is holding a lantern. And the lantern is 2 hands holding a fire. So kind of reminiscent of the fire keepers. Could be a little Easter egg. But, I don't know, it's a neat little detail. I don't think we see any other of these ladies holding a lamp like that. Or a lantern, so. Seems interesting that they would decide to model it after all that. But she uses it to... You know, it just occurred to me, the way she shook that lantern. It makes me wonder if all these ladies have the same attack pattern or animation skeleton as the farmers and peasants in the undead settlement in Dark Souls 3. Because I think they had little cleavers too. Oh, I'd never noticed that connection before, because I think some of them have lanterns and they'd scream to alert their friends. Oh, it's been a good while though. Ow. Oh, we found another festive hood. Well, what a jolly people. Skinning people, taking their bones, making implements of more festivities. It's just a never-ending cycle, honestly. Alright, so as you come all the way down here into the basin, you only need to go down a little ways, and it gets darker, it gets gloomy, and we see a sapling. We can grab ourselves a golden seed if I'm not too stupid about grabbing it. There we go. So we are going to make our way west. We see these awful worm-faced monsters. We saw one on Mount Gelmir briefly. It was super tall, not like this one. This one's draped in a gold finery, and it's wielding a stick. The other one was naked, if I recall. So we have these horrible worm faces down here. And I believe the minor Erdtree down here was also in some sort of trouble that we saw from a distance. But if we listen carefully, you may not be able to hear it, but if anytime you're near the worm faces, they seem to be weeping and wailing, and I don't think they have teeth to gnash, but I'm sure if they did, they would be gnashers through and through. But still, you can hear them crying and weeping, and honestly, they live a horrible existence. If I had that many worms coming out of my face, I'd be upset too. Ugh. Gross. And they're emaciated, which makes me think the worms are parasites and not just like a part of whatever the species that thing is. And we may have seen it a little bit before with the other one, but it seems that the worms are burrowed into the flesh of their face, which is gross and graphic, but they still have ears on the sides of their head. I think we can use this to get down. Okay. So in the back here, we saw when we were up above by the Second Church of America, and I didn't point it out, but you would have seen it. There was a wizard tower here. And now it's not here now that we're close, and there is this book here. So it wants us to touch 3 phantom crests. Well, and that gives us a little map there. And the map has the tower on it. And it looks like the basin, but it's turned, right? So if we take a look at the picture we are afforded, hopefully we can make it bigger. There it is. So, there. We can make it a little bit bigger. So it looks like they've turned the map. They've turned it 90 degrees. So it's actually the, what would be the west side by our, the east side by our first inclination is actually north. So we need to turn it counterclockwise, right? But the first one seems to be in front of where the tower was. The other one is off in the direction of that church. We can see that little brick there on the picture, that little block indicating it. And the other one is just before the ruined bridge. Pretty intuitive, so we can touch this one. It's a freebie. And we can actually walk through where it's supposed to be. And we even get the prompt for Mirage Rise going through the nearby area. Kind of funny. Okay. I don't know what weapon I want to use. Well, that killed it. Michaela's Lily, and it was sobbing in front of this tombstone, so likely grieving. Though perhaps the location of it grieving was coincidental. Who knows how intelligent the creatures are. But, oh, here we have an imp. And it seems that the imps are here to harass us as long as the sigil's still here. But if we touch the sigil, they die. And apparently still drop items. Wow, forked hatchet. So even though they are spiritual, they drop real weapons. A little bizarre. But that's okay. So heading down along this lower area, we make our way to the bridge as we know it. So we know it's somewhere in this area according to the map. Right? We head this way. There is a beetle. Oh. Oh, they're pissed. And that other one's fast. Oh, come on. That's right. It's hammer time. Ooh, 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 don't like that. It seems that they leak death blight even when they are being mashed. Oh, stop it. Fine. Do the lame way. Oh, you're not dead? Alright, there we go. So, got a Somber Stone. There's a Grace over here if you need a checkpoint, which this is a good checkpoint to have in all honesty. And we need to search the area for that other sigil for the Wizard Tower. So somewhere over here just before the bridge, and when we see imps, we know we're getting close. So look around. Nothing bright blue is showing up readily. And then as we continue along, for some reason this rock has underglow. And there is our sigil, which will kill the imp over there. Why you'd shell out all that money to get underglow for your rocks, I couldn't tell you. Wizards are grand and mysterious, and their ways are not our ways. We are not meant to know. But, aftermarket parts to get your rocks underglow must be quite expensive. Or maybe they're cheap, because, they gotta get rid of them, and nobody really wants them that much. But we come back, and the tower is here. Still has all them blue flowers. We have this rise here. Can't tell you how many times I've gotten into the rise just to get invaded when playing co-op with people. It's not a horrible position, fairly defensible. You have a ladder, for one. If you're already up it, you can protect yourself pretty well and be a nightmare for any invader. Get the huge jump on him. Especially if you have a great bow with golem arrows. Kind of hit him with those. Alright, and we have a treasure chest. 5 slumbering eggs, though, on that noble. Unseen blade and unseen form. So let's see what these sorceries are all about. One of the night sorceries of Celia, Town of Sorcery. Both of them are. So this one enchants armament held in right hand, making it completely invisible. Kind of just to mess with people you're fighting, because it doesn't do much in PvE. Used by Celian assassins to present themselves as unarmed sorcerers. So neat in terms of lore, in terms of practicality, other than throwing off your opponent for a few attacks. They might not know what you have. Seems like a waste of a slot. This one's a little more useful, though. One of the night sorceries of Celia, Town of Sorcery, makes the caster semi-invisible, while on horseback effect extends the cover them out. This sorcery can be cast while in motion. The Celian assassins considered every option that aided their dirty work. So, on its own, it's kind of lackluster. And I believe we found a talisman that does a similar thing. Completely conceals the wearer's presence when crouching at a distance from foes, right? So both are stealth items. That one have anything interesting to say? Part of the concealing veils used by the assassins on the Night of Black Knives. Okay. But there is an Ash of War you can get later that also aids in stealth. And if you combine it with the Unseen Form sorcery... What is it actually called? Yeah, Unseen Form sorcery. Then... with that Ash of War and that sorcery combined, as long as somebody's not already locked onto you, as in another player, they can't lock onto you for the brief duration. And the duration is not long, it's like 30 seconds. And when you're overlapping the two spells, you're probably going to get like 25 seconds or something. Not a whole lot, but something. Am I missing anything according to my notes? No, I think we're good to loot the place. So let's get on horseback, loot around a bit. So we have more of these. We have a crystal bud. We have another one of them worm faces. More of the worm faces. The bridge. Where is the Erd tree? I don't want to go to it just yet. I want to go around it. Oh, I must be blind. Have I lost myself? Oh, it's just farther east. Or too far away. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see it now. Lump of flesh. Take that. It's mine now. Stuff it in my pocket. Okay, so we have this ruin here. Oh, I can summon rats. We're going to loot the place first and come back, and then I'll summon the rats. We need to go around. There is a beetle I want dead. There he is. Oh, and we get golden slam. Oh, dear. We actually hit him. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, death blighted. Well, we need that money back if we're going to upgrade the rats. Goodness. I want to finish the basin. We may not get to the dungeon attached to... Oh, Stick America. But I want to finish the basin this episode, which leaves us very little time. Shouldn't be dying. But Deathblight... Deathblight's mean. Oh, yep, there's a big one there. That's the mini-boss of the area. Huge. I don't think we've seen one quite that big. Oh, Cookbook 19. We'll have to look at that. Sweet raisins and warming stones. So we can make the healing rocks so we can toss on the ground. That's rather neat. Okay. I need to use another one of these bad boys, because I died like a fool. And there's a ruin over here, kinda northeast of the minor Erd tree. The reason why you want to loot over here is not just the gravel stone, it's the icon shield there in the middle. And the reason the icon shield is neat is because it has lore, and it's a great shield that gives you extra life regen, making it an excellent backpack, though not a fashionable one, in my opinion. It seems that every couple of games there's some sort of shield that is much like a pavase, I believe is the style of shield. And it has a mural on it of some kind. So great shield painted with a divine scene, the recipients of a blessing are a blessed tear from the Erd tree, an item that looks back fondly on the age of plenty. The divine scene acts in and of itself as a sacred invocation, gradually restoring the carrier's HP. And sure enough, we can see a droplet in the picture going down to a goblet, and there is a woman there ready to receive it. There's another one of them candle labra ghost thingies. It'll lead you to a dungeon on the southern portion of the basin. But we are just going around and we are looting. Ouch. Got spat on by a slug. The gall of some slugs to spit on an adventurer like me. Alright, there are lots of enemies here, and I feel like being risky, and I probably shouldn't, but here we go. I think we're going to want... Oh, why am I losing it? There we are. These bad boys. Why not? And we want to give him the big old slam. Oh, that worked really well. Oh, that was incredible. That's my favorite time ever dealing with those horrible monsters. Wow. Thanks, Starcaller Cry. You do have a purpose. Big damage with some range. Using my int and my strength for once. Very well. Okay, and down here we find the Wrath of Gold. So let's read that thing's incantation, then we'll go kill the boss as fast as we can. Alright. Superior Erd Tree Worship Incantation. Produces a golden shockwave that knocks back foes. Charging increases the size of the shockwave. This incantation was discovered when the Elden Ring was shattered, and it was feared as a sight of the Erd Tree, or a sign of the Erd Tree's wrath. Interesting that it came about after the shattering. It's kind of like Wrath of the Gods, which is a spell in the Souls series. Big ol' explosion spell, does good damage. Big stat investment. This thing also has a fairly steep stat investment, if I recall. Yeah, 32 faith, so you kind of have to... You can't just put a smidgen faith, you need a good amount. Let's work our way back to the round table hold, and I will upgrade those rats because I want to see how many we're going to get. Alright, and we're back, and we're going to fight the boss, but first, I'm going to summon these rats, and I hope they don't summon too far off. It seems we have 4 now, which I guess is an improvement from 3. Oh, I should have drank this. Oh, we're having one of those days. Ooh, 1100. Oh, no. Oh, this is the worst thing that could have happened. Okay, not the worst, but... My rats! No wonder they were free. My complimentary rats. Oh, shucks. Again, with the death blight. Oh, it's gonna go for a grab. Oh, maybe that wasn't a grab. Oh, it was going in for a grab. But instead we can get a good old bop on its face. So I call them worm faces. Technically this is the only one that I know is called worm face, but anyway. It drops the Crimson Spill Crystal Tear and the Speckled Hard Tear. So let's take a look at those really fast. And then we will get to the dungeon and cut there. Alright, Crystal Tear formed slowly over the ages, where the Erd Tree's bounty falls to the ground. Hey, like the Icon Shield we just found. Can be mixed in the Flask of Wondrous Physic, resulting in a concoction that temporarily raises one's max HP. And this one, the resulting concoction temporarily raises all resistances and heals all status ailments. So, if you're dealing with Death Blight, Bleeds, Frosts, you can drink that to get it increased. I've never used it, honestly. Feels like there's more important things and I'd forget to switch it. If I was if I was of sounder mind, perhaps I would swap it out, right? But I do not do that, unfortunately. I'm trying to think of a situation where I ought to use it. And you know, we saw that Lake of Rot when we were exploring the Ansel River well, if you recall. And I think that's what we'll probably explore. We're heading over here. Okay. So I think when we do eventually get to that Lake of Rot, I will try to remember to equip that Wondrous Physic mix in and see if it gives us a good amount of resistance, because I've never tried it. Because I know we'll stack gear, and we'll probably stack talismans to get through that Lake of Rot, and maybe a consumable. But if we stack a consumable and that flask, I wonder how big the bar can get. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun little thing to see. I'm sad that upgrading the rats 5 or 6 times really didn't get us anything more than a single rat. I wonder if upgrading them to max just gets you a 5th rat. Because I don't think I've ever seen a summon with more than 5 parts to it. Anyway, well, we're here in this dungeon. This is also a good dungeon if you need upgrade materials, because it is yet another mine, but we'll do it next time. Episode 83, I think. Wow. I did 79, 80, 81, and this would be 82, so next time's 83. Wow. I'm doing better. Well, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a good one, and bye-bye.